Wow. What's happening, everybody? Yes, sir. We back. How's everybody doing? Welcome to Let's Talk with Stanley Doucette. I am he, your host, Stanley Doucette, and baby, we on another ride full of greatness. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. How you doing, family? What's happening? How your mom and your cousin, your uncle Darren? We back. Listen, I am absolutely excited. Let me bring my energy down some. Take a deep breath. I'm excited. I'm excited. I had an opportunity right before we came live. I was discussing something with my mentor, and sometimes your mentor drops some nuggets on you, and you got to just kind of take a step back and go, it was off the charts. I would like to explain it to you guys, but not today. That part, that was our business. That was us having a conversation about some powerful things. I promise you. So shout out to him and all of his infinite wisdom and the things that he's helped me through on today. That man. Anyway, let me not get into that because y'all going to start hitting up the chat talk. But well, what y'all talk about? You know y'all knows it. How's everybody doing? It's 2024. Everybody's doing great, I'm sure. How's everybody doing on the East Coast? Shout out to the East Coast. How's everybody doing on the West Coast? Shout out to the West Coast. How's everybody doing up north? I know they've had some terrible snow and weather and all of that stuff. So please stay warm. Take all of the precautions. Look into your law enforcement and all of your officials to make sure you're staying warm and safe. We want to make sure all of our family is staying safe wherever you calling in from, calling in, listening in from around the world. So we want to make sure everybody's doing well. Shout out to everybody that is flourishing in the first part of 2023. A couple of my friends called and they were talking about how they have literally had some exciting news and some powerful things that have happened to them, with them, for them, whether it's in their company, them personally, in their relationships. So, shout out to them for starting off a powerful 2024. I'm very, very excited for you guys, and we're going to continue to press forward. Shout out to my little sister. She's doing something amazing. I can't go into it, but she's doing something amazing, and I'm just I'm smiling from ear to ear. Big brother over here smiling. So she's doing some great things, and I'm really, really happy for her and where she's going. What about you guys? How's your guys 2024 coming along? I know some big things happening for everybody, so it's just good, man. It's good to be on a ride. I'm looking at the news. I'm listening to some of the reports. I'm listening to what I hate to say it, but I'm listening to the political side, and it's a lot that's going on good, and unfortunately, there's a lot that's going on that I consider bad, right? So today I'm not, this is weird, but today I'm not going to talk so much about the great and powerful things that's going on today. I'm not going to talk about the bad things that's going on today. Today I want to us, just discuss you, right? So today I'm actually going to be talking about feeling overwhelmed and how to get past it. How many times we feel overwhelmed and so many different things. So I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. But before I get into that, if you guys, y'all know the commercials come. If you guys do me a favor, go to all of our social media platforms: Facebook, LinkedIn. That's a new one. Facebook, LinkedIn, X. What's the other one? Instagram, and of course YouTube. Go to the YouTube channel, guys. Y'all see me? I'll be cracking my own stuff up, making faces and jokes and cutting up. Yeah, and would you guys would do me a big favor? Would you guys just share, like, subscribe, just say hello, send it over, send some of your favorite podcasts over to, some of your friends. Just have them take a listen and see if it's something that may be able to help them, empower them, lift them, elevate them, or whatever it may be. We're not here to be selfish. We want to share this wealth with everybody that's out there. So regardless of where you are, if you're in the Netherlands, hello. If you're in Switzerland, hello. If you're in Chad, hello. If you're in South Africa, hello. Australia, hello. If you're in South America, hello. Regardless of where you're calling and listening into, I say hello to you. If you're, of course, in North America, shout out to my North American family. Shout out to the United States and all of my friends and family there. Shout out to Europe and all of the European Union countries. Hey, I'm just covering everybody because I think today, and what we're going to talk about in terms of being overwhelmed and how to actually get past it, I think it's something that's powerful. But make sure you go to all of our social media platforms, please, and just please go there, like, share, subscribe. If right now, if you're in a position that you're able to call, text, send a smoke signal to somebody to have them log into onevoiceradio.com and listen to us live, that would be great. If you're listening to this after the time we air it, go to let's talk with stanleydoucette.com. That's LETS. Let's talk, TALK with WITH, stanleydoucette.com. That's STANLEY, D as in David, OUCETTE.com. Let's talk with stanleydoucette.com. There you have all of the previous three channels, 3 seasons that's there. And then also on top of that, you also have all of the podcast that's been aired already on season 4. Yes, we're on season 4. Who would have thought this little guy from New Orleans, Louisiana would be airing something internationally all over the world, 150 plus countries, and sometimes I just laugh at my creator. This just God, just keep doing it. Just do it. Do it. Whatever you're doing, do it, and I'm with you. Just keep doing it because a lot of times, and we're going to get into the, as we are saying with the podcast, but a lot of times, our creator does some incredible things. My God, he's just amazing. And the things that he do, sometimes it just makes my mouth open of how good he's been to me. I know this is not going to get testified. Like you say, some of my church folks, y'all understand, this ain't testimony Sunday, but I can give you a testimony. I got a testimony in my mouth. Y'all will be shocked. One day I'm going to share it with you guys, but I want to just share that just be grateful, right? In today's world and what's going on, just be grateful, especially what's going on now. I mean, there's wars, there's rumors of wars, there are people fighting and cutting up, people disrespecting elderly, disrespecting kids, people just going crazy. Greed is off the charts, out of control. I mean, listen, this is a pet peeve of mine. This is a pet peeve of mine. Some of y'all gonna wave your hand and say glory, because I'm already doing it. This is a pet peeve. Going to restaurants now and they are charging you, the customers, for their merchant fees, and then demanding in some places they don't even accept cash. What? You don't accept cash, but you also want me to pay for your merchant fees, and on top of that, if we don't do that, then it's like, oh, we're sorry, there's nothing we can do to help. Are you kidding me? Don't do that to people. I mean, is this a cost of doing business? Please don't do that to people. But people be like, oh, well, it's the merchant fees. Well, merchant fees been there before. All of a sudden now it's like, oh, we want to again hit the customer over the head. What happened to customer service, man? Some of these companies and restaurants and just places is just like, are you guys kidding me? So sometimes they'll get this speech, and by the time I'm finished, they're like, you know what? That's okay. Don't fix my food. I'm gonna go somewhere else. So that's just me. So in America, sometimes it's just I just don't like that. I just feel it's greed. I feel it's getting over. I feel it's taken advantage of, and so many other words I could come up with. But I'm not going to stay there today. But what I do want to stay on is being grateful and making sure we stay in that vein of where we are to do some incredible things. So let me get into this overwhelmed and feeling overwhelmed and being overwhelmed and bothered by overwhelm and all of those other things. So if you have something to write with, I just got some things I just want to share. I feel really grateful right now. Just really, really grateful. So let me talk about overwhelmed, right? So I wrote a couple things down just on overwhelm. Overwhelm is more than stress. That's right. Overwhelm is more than stress. It is when everything seemingly suddenly seems too much. Not gradually, but suddenly it just seems it's too much. And we don't think we can cope with it. It's just that simple. You know, when all of this stuff come up, then suddenly it just hits you all of a sudden, and we're just feeling, I can't cope with this. This is too much, right? You might feel overwhelmed by your thoughts, your emotions, problems. Um, there may be obvious external triggers such as work, your workload, traumatic experiences, life changes, perfectionism, lack of sleep. Matter of fact, let me go back. We understand what workload is, but the traumatic experiences, a lot of people may not understand that being overwhelmed is something that is absolutely crazy. But when you talk about being having traumatic experience, you're talking about going through, let's say, a divorce. You're going through some, um, let me see, um, you're going through a loss of job, right? A life changing. I say life change, but all of those things, it just amazes me on how sometimes we have so many different things that literally make us feel overwhelmed. And when it feels overwhelmed that way, that puts us in a certain feel, a certain category, right? And it just makes you feel a certain way. So when you're overwhelmed and we have those different things that come up, even when life changes, right? Even if a baby come, that's a life change things. If let me think of something else. Going to school, um, when you go to school and you think about those things, sometimes you're trying to get your degree or your degrees or whatever it may be, and you're looking around and doing so many crazy things. It's just crazy. I mean, it is just crazy, crazy. So where we're going and what we're doing with being overwhelmed is in the next places. Yeah, it's that's a lot. That is a lot. That is a lot. Um, I feel there are people that are being overwhelmed, even right now. And when you're being overwhelmed, it's a lot. And sometimes it also creates a lack of sleep. Now, when you have a lack of sleep, that lack of sleep is just something that puts you in a space to where you're up and you can't get the best of you. So when you can't get the best of you, then you're thinking about, wow, how can I move forward? Well, I read this quote, and the quote says, if you're empty, you can't pour anything out. Let me say that again. If you're empty, you can't pour anything out. I mean, if you're empty, you can't pour anything out. Think about a glass of water. If you just get a glass and you don't put any water in it, you can't water your flowers. You can't water you. You can't drink the water because there's nothing in there. But excuse me, sleep fuels you. It puts something in you. It rests your body. It relaxes you. It brings everything back into alignment with what you may have given out. There's things that you may have shared, and now you got to replenish yourself, replenish your body. So make sure we get sleep. I know a lot of times we say we out here grinding and we doing stuff. As a matter of fact, I heard Beyonce say this. I think it was she was working so hard for 3 days and she even forgot to eat. Guys, let's eat, please, please, please. Let's eat. And when we eat, right? I mean, let's eat. Let's for real eat. So, but I'm not going to go deep into that, but I just wanted us to think about some of the things that may create overwhelming feelings. So we got workload, traumatic experiences, life changes. Oh, I forgot this one. Perfectionism, right? Trying to be so perfect, right? You wrote this great article, and then in this article, um, you keep going back and tweaking it and tweaking it and tweaking. Stop. It's the perfect article. Put it out. Stop. You've done so much. It's okay. So let's just keep going, right? Listen, guys, I love you guys because this is some of transparent moment. This is some of the things that I sometimes would literally suffer from. Lack of sleep for sure. I know some of y'all that know me, you be like, oh my God, Stanley, like, hello. Like, can you go to sleep, right? I'm a night owl, but we do what we do, and go from there. So, all right, it is what it is. But yeah, I need to get some sleep. I need to rest. Better yet, not just get sleep. That's a good point. Not just get some sleep, but rest. So make sure we rest. All right. So now what I want to do actually is I want to change into is actually some of the actual ways that we can actually get rid of the overwhelming feeling. How can we move forward in this overwhelming feeling? How can we not do a certain things in this overwhelming feeling, right? What can we do? How do we do it? So number one, number two, number three, number four, number five is all the same for me. That is to release it. Open your hands up and release it. Now, let me go through some things of some talk through points of how to release it. So, number one, I say this, take a deep breath. Like literally, inhale, exhale. Some of you guys now listening to the podcast, y'all can't even inhale and exhale because you're so tense and you got so much stuff. Just take a deep breath. Inhale, exhale. Work on your breathing. Just breathe, right? Just breathe. Inhale, exhale. Just breathe. So when you're just breathing, you concentrating on something else and not really putting yourself in a situation to where you feel a certain way. So just inhale and then exhale. Inhale and then exhale, right? So that's a good thing. Breathing helps you to literally bring it down. Just literally bring it down. If you close your eyes, well, listen, I was going to say everybody do this, but no, not everybody. If you're driving, if you're operating a motor vehicle, if you're operating a crane or just all kind, whatever it is, if you can't close your eyes, don't do it. If it's recommended that you don't close your eyes while you're doing this, don't do it. Okay. But if you can, if you sit down on your sofa and you can, take a moment and just take, I'm gonna give everybody 3 seconds. Close your eyes and just take a deep breath. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. One more time. Inhale, exhale. It should make you feel a little bit better, right? We understand so much going on, but at least they give you an opportunity to feel a little bit better. Here's another one to release that, to release it. Here's another one. Step away. Sometimes we just have to step away. How many writers are out there? Raise your hand. Raise it like you just don't care. Now, so sometimes you're writing, whether you're writing a script, whether you're writing a book, whether you're thinking about something, whether you're contemplating something, whether you have to write a report, whether you have to write something for school, whatever it is, and you just sometimes it just not coming there. Just step away. Just put it down and go do something else. Go take a shower, take a bath, bubble bath, put some candles there. If you're of the age, get some wine or something that you may be able to drink. If you feel like reading, go read, but get completely away from it. I mean, just literally step away, get away, and then come back, right? So when all of those things we talked about were being overwhelmed, whether it's the workload, whether it's perfection, regardless of what it is, when we're talking about those actual moments, let's just go ahead and step away. Step away and do what we have to do, and then go from there. So now you stepped away. Your mind is what my mentor always say: your mind can't occupy two thoughts at one time. Now that you stepped away and you're sitting in the bath, or you taking a shower, or you went exercise, or you just breathing, or you just watching a movie, it's moving you away from that. So it'll bring that feeling of being overwhelmed down. It will completely bring it down, right? Another way when we step away, one of the things I say is pray. Is pray. Take a moment to pray. Just literally step away and pray. Now, let me say this. When I'm talking through these, right? When you're taking those deep breaths, it's to bring you down. When you're stepping away, it's to bring it down. It's to get that off your plate. When you're praying, let go. As some people say, let go and let God have it. Just let it go. Let go. Let go, right? Let it go. So when you're praying to your creator, to your father, let it go. So now you're not holding on to that overwhelming feeling. Let it go. Let it go. Take your time. Let it go. It's going to be fine. Let it go. All right. Here's one thing that Stanley, your boy, I have to learn. I can't do everything, right? We just can't do everything. We got to just put some brakes up and say, hey, look, I can't do that. I'm sorry, mom. I'm sorry, dad. I'm sorry, aunt. I'm sorry, uncle. I'm sorry, brother. I'm sorry, sister. I can't do that. Because a lot of times we take on so much ourselves that when we take on so much that it is absolutely overwhelming to us. We overbook ourselves, which create all of this overwhelming feeling and so many other feelings that's negative. And how are we going to get it done? No, sometimes we just have to simply say, I would love to do that, but I just don't have the space right now to actually do it. Like I've ran out of space, so I can't do it right now. But if it happened next week, next month, or whatever it is, then let's do it. But if I'm literally out of space, don't try to add something on to it while you know good and well you're not going to be able to do it. Say it a different way. Don't try to please somebody else when it's detrimental to yourself. Don't try to please somebody else when it becomes detrimental to yourself, right? Listen, if that's your boundary, that's your space, and I can't do it, listen, I love you, wife, I love you, husband, but I can't do that right now because I have this, and this, right? A lot of times people get upset when you say that. It's like, no, 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 no. That's not where it's at. This is where I am. So when you're talking through those things, you're talking through those moments, share with them, listen, sweetheart, or listen, honey, or listen, supervisor, or listen, director, or whoever it may be, you're sharing, hey, chief, listen, I would love to do that, but I can't because I have these 3 reports that I have to get done for the district attorney's office. And if I do that, that's going to put us behind on these things, and we may not be able to get the things that we need to get done over here. So if it's okay, can you please assign that to somebody else? Once I finish, I'm more than welcome. I'm more than happy and I welcome to do whatever I can to continue to help, right? But a lot of times we be like, yeah, I do it too. And then now you're giving half butt responses. Your work is not thorough. And then all you trying to cram and that overwhelming feeling comes and all. No, no, no. Hey, listen, I'm sorry, I can't do that. Some of us just need to start practicing that. Hey, listen, I'm sorry. I can't do that. I'm sorry. It'll make you feel better. I'm telling you, just thinking about it. You know what? I can't do that. I'm sorry. I wish you the best, but I can't do that. You know, if once I'm able to assist, no problem. But right now, I can't do that. When you start doing those things, right? Now, let me just say this. When you're sharing that with somebody, don't say it with an attitude because you really want to help, but you may not have the space to do it. So don't get upset. Now you upset because you can't help, your husband or your wife. You can't help them, but you really want to, but you just can't. You literally can't. But don't get upset with them. Don't have an attitude. And if somebody's sharing that with you, husband, wife, supervisor, director, chief, listen, if they can't do it, just simply say, I would love to, but I can't. And when you receive it, don't get an attitude because they can't do something. They can't. It's only one person. So, you know, let's make sure we take that into consideration. Here's a good one, and I'm working on this one myself. Being good to ourselves, right? So many things that come up in our lives, and so many times things that happen, and then we get frustrated with ourselves, and we beat ourselves up. We choke ourselves all kind of way. And when I say choke, not physical choke, but just choking ourselves up and how we talking and all. No, relax, relate, release, let it go, and be nice to yourself. Be kind. You know, so many people say stuff, and you on the grind every day. Don't allow yourself to be another one of the enemies that's keep beating you up. So yes, I hear some of the people that's close to me. I'm working on that. I don't want to hear your mouth. I'm working on that. So yeah, just being transparent. A lot of times I'm so hard on myself that I'm not kind, right? I'm just hard on myself. I mean, hard on myself. There's nobody more harder than I am on myself, right? So a lot of times, the friends and family and loved ones that's close to me, they're like, Stanley, it's okay. Let it go. It's okay. Be kind to yourself. Give yourself some grace. It's perfectly okay. It's relax. A mentor will say, stressing ain't gonna help. Stressing ain't gonna help you. Let it go. It's okay. We gonna get it. So when I say be good to yourself, some of us, some of the family may be in that same space that we just hard on ourselves. But it's okay. Give ourselves some grace. Now, here's the difference though. If you made a mistake, do not take accountability for what it is that you did. If you made a mistake, you made a mistake, but don't walk around telling me I'm gonna give myself grace, but I ain't gonna tell him I did it. No, 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 no. Now we talking about lack of integrity. No, we're not gonna do that. So make sure when you're being kind to yourself, when you're giving yourself grace, when you're loving on yourself, when you're keeping your mental health straight, when you're taking a spa day, or you're taking a day just to go outside and walk and just, you know, take a ride. Some of us may like music, and when you like music, you may be, taking a ride. Put the well, not now it's freezing in some parts of the world, but if you're in a summer place, you can put your windows down, the sunroof open, or whatever. You may take the top off and just let the wind flow, let the music play. Put your seat back and just ride. Be kind to yourself. Be good to yourself. Let your mental health stay strong and be in that space to where everything is all good. Hey, listen, it's all good. It's all good. And what happens is that continues to allow that overwhelming feeling to be released. Remember, we're talking about releasing that overwhelming feeling. All right. Here's another one. Right. Like literally right, whether it's physically right or type it out. Right. I also want to add this other one in there, talk too, right? Talk it out. Now, let me go through each of them. Writing it out is just you and a paper. It's no one else. It's not to be seen. It's not to be grammatically correct. You can have triple negatives in there. Don't really care because it's just you writing and expressing yourself and getting it all out. I mean, when I say letting it out, I mean legitimately letting it out, letting that overwhelming feeling go, letting that energy, letting that spirit out of you as you're writing. One of the things I found is physical writing in that sense, because you're not concerned with, is it neat enough? Did I spell that word proper? Did I use that proper um, comma or colon or period or exclamation? It doesn't matter. It's just you and the paper that's writing. You're writing to get it out. So write it out. Typing, same thing. I prefer writing in those spaces when I'm feeling overwhelmed and in that space. I prefer writing because for whatever reason, it's just something about me physically writing and writing on the paper, just my feelings and why I'm feeling overwhelmed. And I'm talking about going into detail because there's no one else there to read it. It's just you. Nobody else gonna read it. And in some cases, you may even want to burn it, right? But just writing out. I mean, writing it out. Like, I don't like Stanley finger, and write it out. His finger is ugly or his toe is ugly, right? Like, I hate his baby toe because let me tell y'all a funny story. I'm telling on myself. So my daughter one time, I got old basketball injury, and somebody stepped on my toe, and sometimes my toenail would turn, it won't be clear, it'll be a light brown, and sometimes it turn dark. So I have to go to and get it manicured and get it all cleaned up so it don't look like, like I got the cooties on my toe. So one day, before I was going to get my pedicure, and my daughter Gabrielle was like, Daddy, yes, baby, when you gonna get your toe fixed? Like, all I can do is just laugh. So she's sick, she's doing her thing. Uh, so she was like, oh my God, you're gonna get it fixed. So after I got the pedicure, I showed her, she was like, yay, Daddy, you got it fixed. I'm sorry, y'all. That's a father-daughter moment. It was when I say it was priceless, it was priceless. So, anywho, I don't know how I even got into that, but nonetheless, so be kind to yourself. So when you're writing it out, like you literally can write it out and literally vent and frustrate and talk however you want to talk. It'll help release that overwhelming feeling. When you're typing, it's the same thing. You don't have to worry about going back and I see the little red line and say, oh, you misspelled that word and the green line or the blue line or the yellow line and the orange. No, you don't have to worry about any of those lines. All you're doing is typing out your thoughts to release that overwhelming feeling. Type it out. Type, 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 type. Because then after, you just hit delete and you're done, right? But you were able to get that out. The last one I say is talk it out, but I use a caution here. And the caution is if you're talking it out and you talking to someone else to just let that overwhelming feeling out, which is fine, it's up to you. But I would caution and say if you are, talk to someone that can just listen and handle your weight. No judgment, no looking cross-eyed and crooked, not trying to give advice. All you're trying to do is get that overwhelming feeling off of you. So you're just venting, 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 venting. Then once you're finished, then let it go. The friend that's there with you, or the husband or the wife that's there, or the cousin or the brother or the sister or the aunt that's there, once you're finished, it's gone. It's done. It's over, right? And now you're on to something else. And then I would also say one last piece is sometimes you just gotta ask for help, right? We just, we just have to ask for help. I mean, I know family. I'm one of the worst of asking for help. But sometimes we just got to ask for help. Ask for help. Sometimes what you've been seeking is right there and just literally opening your mouth for help. Like, listen, I'm overwhelmed right now. Let me tell you guys. Let me tell you guys a true story. This is a true story. I write pretty well. Like I write pretty well. It's not to blow Stanley. I'm just sharing this with you for a reason. And I write pretty well, and I mean I'm very descriptive. I'm very articulate when I have to write something. All of that's training from the police department and all the different reports you had to write. So you just began to build your craft, and you just kept going, and you got better and better and better and better. So I think I write pretty well. Well, one day I had to write something, and I was like, I could not write. Like I was confused. I was like, I don't even know where to start, right? And I was confused. So I reached out to a friend, and I was like, listen, can you help me with this? And they were like, yep, send it to me. Sent it to them. They sent it back to me like in 5 minutes. And I really kind of felt a little slow. Like I was like, oh, you made me feel real slow right now. And they sent it right back to you, and it was perfect, right? Perfect. And then you can, if you want to add or delete and all that stuff, whatever it is that you want to do, but they sent the first thing over. So now I can play with it, or in my case, I just say, you know what, this is good enough for me. Copy, paste, put it in, I was done. Well, if I didn't ask for help, I probably would still be there at this, like, oh man, I can't write today. Like, what's going on? And this. Well, I decided to ask for help. And once I asked for help, I got the help, and it took all of 5 minutes for them to send it back to me, and took 5 minutes for me to add, delete, subtract, or whatever it is I did to it, put it right in the report, and I was done. Sometimes we just have to ask for report. Ask for report. Ask for help. When you ask for help and you do those things, sometimes it's just become magical. It's just like, wow, if I did that early, I would have been finished an hour earlier. Yeah, don't beat yourself up. So remember, those are just some of the things that we do. But the biggest thing that I say for feeling overwhelmed is to release it. How to resolve it? To release it. Now, I gave some points for me, but I just say to release it. You may have others, but I think this pretty much covers most of us, right? So when you're releasing it, you take a deep breath. Remember, don't forget your breathing. Step away from it. Don't keep staying there and staying there. No, step away from it. Whether you're taking a shower, you're going jogging, exercise, step away from it. Pray. Pray in your space, pray in your terms, and that way you're moving away from what it is that's making you feel overwhelmed. Uh, Remember, stay kind to yourself. So be good to you. Be good to yourself. Stay very kind to you. Give yourself that space. Give yourself that grace so you can do the things that you need to do. Don't do everything. Sometimes people ask and you just can't do it. It's okay. You just can't do it. You just can't do it. Write out why. Just write it out. Why you're feeling overwhelmed, why you feeling a certain way, but just write it out. You simply write it out, right? Or type it out. And also, I think I added in there, talk it out. But just that in that same space, that way, again, you're releasing it. You're getting it off of you. And then ask for help. Sometimes you just ask for help. Like, hey, I need some help with this. And in that story, I shared, I asked them, and they said yes, sent it over, and they emailed it back to me in 5 minutes, and we were done. We were done, right? So just make sure when you're feeling overwhelmed, you follow those things. But keep in mind, you can release it, regardless of where you are. For those that are feeling overwhelmed right now, just release it. Practice those steps that we talked about. Understand on some of the things that are making you feel overwhelmed, from workloads to life changes to professionalism, lack of sleep, traumatic experiences, whatever it may be. Those are the things that cause it. But what do we do to remove that? Is to release it. And those are the things that we talked about. So just release it, right? Just release it. I love you guys. So I appreciate you guys logging in. Shout out once again to all of the family that you guys are there all over the world. I truly, truly, truly appreciate you guys taking a listen to the podcast today. We're going to be back next week. We cutting up next week again. We going to cut up next week again. Some of my guests are delayed, but it's okay. It is absolutely okay. We're going to keep rocking and rolling. I cannot wait to get back in the seat next week and to be with my family once again. So wherever you all over the world, I shout you out. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our podcast. Go to Let's Talk with StanleyDoucette.com. L-E-T apostrophe, oh, I'm not apostrophe, I'm sorry. L-E-T-S TALKWITHSTANLEY, D as in David, OUCETTE.com. Go to Let's Talk with StanleyDoucette.com. All of the previous podcasts are there. How's there, all 4 seasons, and I'm just excited to have an opportunity to speak to you guys. And then also go to YouTube. Guys, I be having all kinds of things going on. I'll be having paper. I'll be having, sometimes my phone be ringing. I'll be trying to turn it off. I be looking crazy sometimes, but hey, I'm here. I'm here. This how you know this is absolutely authentic. This ain't no sugarcoating. This ain't no retakes and retake. No, you're gonna get exactly what it is. So listen, I love you guys. I appreciate y'all. So wherever you're calling in, I say why shout you out, and I say I love you guys. I appreciate you. I will see you guys on the beaches of the world, and until next week. I'll see you guys next week on Let's Talk with Stanley Doucette. Peace and blessings. We out.